Is this product by Ginity something to enhance your D&D campaigns, or is it just a piece of YouTuber merch? This is the Game Master's deck of Boons and Banes. According to the front here, it is 40 game-changing, character-shifting cards and a companion book for 5th edition RPG adventures. By Ginity, with illustrations by Tim Foley. And the back says, "Dare your players to tempt fate. Whether you're looking to reward your party for a job well done, or show them the consequences of angering the wrong deity, the Game Master's deck of Boons and Banes can bring a shifting power dynamic to every session." Conceived by professional GM Ginny D, and featuring 20 Boon and 20 Bane cards, as well as a booklet outlining the details of each, this deck will help you advance player goals, or hurl them, and your story in an entirely different direction, all with the ease of drawing a single card. Includes gorgeous inspirational artwork, scaling suggestions for each card, 80 side quest options, and it's compatible with your favorite 5th edition fantasy tabletop RPGs. I would assume that means 5e 2014 as well as 5e 2024. This retails for $19.99 USD and $25.99 Canadian, which was roughly about $30 with tax, and I got this from my local Indigo, which was awesome. Ooh, I like this. This box has magnets in it. I was expecting that based on what I saw, but I really like that idea. Just keeps everything organized, and magnets are always cool. Alright, so opening this up, there's a guidebook right here, as well as this appears to be the deck of cards. Let's dump these out. Ooh, these are pretty large-sized cards. This is the size comparison to the Hero Quest cards. So yeah, there's quite a difference. These might be tarot-sized cards. I'm not entirely sure about that. I'm not too familiar with card sizes, but they are quite large. Because I think Hero Quest ones are about standard poker size. With the plastic now removed, we can give these cards a good look. They all have the same card back here, which appears to be this nice little castle town thing. And the other side is the same exact place on fire, indicating that it's either a Boon or a Bane, which I think is interesting. Kind of represents both sides of the cards. Air Affinity. Antagonistic Aura. Arcane Absorber, this is the one that is on the box. Arcane Allergy. Bloodthirsty. Brewer's Boon. Celestial Radiance. Oh, interesting. I've just noticed something. I'm guessing you probably shuffle these when you're actually using the game, but so far all these cards are in alphabetical order. Champion's Chorus, ooh, that one's nice. I really like the artwork of these cards. It's a unique style, but it's pretty cool. Child of Darkness. Creature of Land and Sea. Creeping Stoneflesh. Uh-oh. That does not seem like a good one. Curse of Vulnerability, that doesn't seem good either. Delusions of Grandeur with a king. The Doom Dreamer, oh, that one's gorgeous. Easy on the Eyes. Fey Favorite. Flow State. Yes, you're in a flow state when you're reading that literature. Foe of the Wilds. Animals do not like you. The Gallows Haunt. Oh, that one's crazy. Gemini's Gift. Oh, that's cool. That's kind of like a spirit warrior almost, it looks like. Gravitationally Unbound. This one looks like a fun one. Sort of like a wild magic thing. Green Thumb, Black Thumb. That speaks to me of necrotic damage. Hat of the Fool. Vibes. I get that. Heckler's Malice. Oh, you have some kind of ghost here, and I'm not sure, is that some kind of neon letters in the sky, like a spell that's in the process of being written, maybe? The Houndmaster. Ill-Tempered. I think most people might lose their minds if they were in a battle and almost died. Though it is common for adventurers. Infestation, that just seems more annoying than anything, though possibly damaging. Ink Drinker. Oh yeah, you're really into the books. Mystic Guardian. Okay, this one's more like a Spirit Guardian. A Nose for Magic. I like this one. Just literally smelling the magic. That's fun. Plague of Frailty. Not even your healing potions are working. Plain Trotter. Oh, that's a gorgeous illustration of the Astral Sea. Sacrificial Lamb. Clearly they're in trouble. Shadow's Betrayal. Oh, that card is really nice. The way that the shadow is somebody about to stab him. Beautiful. Storm Cursed, clearly they angered God. Sunless Shroud. Unseen Pursuer. The Watcher's Eye. Wild Speaker. Friend of Animals. And Winter's Embrace. Even though it's cold out, you're fine with it. Okay, now I have to figure out how to get the book out of here. Just slide it off the cardboard. And something that surprised me when I was looking for this product in Indigo was the fact that the entire thing was just the size of this package. Because you might maybe expect that it's the size of, let's say, the player's handbook, but it's just this really tiny book. It's not a hardcover or anything, it seems more like a softcover book. So that's something to watch out for in case you prefer hardcovers. Let's just take a look in here. Oh, I can feel this cardboard thing's going to bend, but thankfully there is a seam here, at least, so you're not going to hopefully bend it in a way that will actually break it. It's just going to bend at the seam there. Introduction. Welcome to the Game Master's deck of Boons and Banes. A halfling warrior dances across the battlefield, each movement of his sword shadowed by a matching spectral blade that strikes alongside his. Nearby, a raging barbarian roars as she's struck by an arcane blast, absorbing its energy rather than being overwhelmed by it. Elsewhere, a pallid-looking druid leans heavily on their staff for support, a healing potion they just downed seeming to have little effect, as a wizard awakens from the night's rest in a cold sweat, plagued by recurring nightmares in which his party betrays him. I came to tabletop gaming with a background as both a professional writer and a lifelong devourer of fantasy novels. While I have respect for a subtle story, what drew me to fantasy was its scale. Characters can be unimaginably powerful, accomplish big things, and face formidable, often epic, obstacles. Perhaps that's why I'm so passionate about bringing both the highest of highs and the lowest of lows to my games. When we come to the gaming table to step out of our own shoes and into our boots of striding and springing, we're training the mundanality of day-to-day life for the extremes of a storybook adventure. We're here for escapism, so why do it halfway? We should get to experience both the glorious moments of triumph and the calamitous depths of failure that make those victories taste so much sweeter. With the Game Master's deck of Boons and Banes, I wanted to provide Game Masters with the tools to give their players big wins while also offering chances for big losses, raising the stakes to emphasize that balance isn't just for encounter design, it's the key to telling more engaging stories. Which I absolutely agree with those introductory thoughts. Your victories in D&D are made all the much more sweeter after you've experienced a failure. Let's say a player character has died, but you finally overcome the obstacle. You defeated the BBEG or whoever's the main antagonist at that time. It makes things bittersweet, but it also makes a more memorable story. Just from reading this, it looks like the deck could be a physical thing within the game, such as the deck of many things, which is interesting. Or the deck could be used as a way to generate side quests for your players. And the way that the cards work is you can either have them separated into Boons and Banes, or do as I did when looking through them, and just have them all mixed up and it's random chance. Though of course you'd want to shuffle it in that case. The deck is not balanced, but as a game master, it is your job to kind of balance it for your game. If there's something you don't like, you can change it. That's the great thing about D&D, is that there's a lot of flexibility in what you do with it. And for instance, even if you're running through a module, let's say Curse of Strahd, you can boost up monster stats if your players are much too powerful, or you can change stats, you can fudge rolls, do things like that, just to make the game fun and an enjoyable experience for everybody. For contents here, we have a bunch of Boons as well as Banes. Let's just take a look at Notes for Magic, page 64. Cool, in the book here it also has the same illustration that's on the card art. You find yourself suddenly aware of a variety of smells you've never noticed before. You can smell even lingering traces of the arcane and are under the effects of detect magic at all times. Oh, that's cool. It's sort of like the wild magic barbarian thing, except you kind of have to open yourself to it and use your action for that. But not in this case. Each school of magic has its own distinct spell. Oh, that is cool. Conjuration magic smells of blueberries, necromancy of seared meat, evocation of fresh flowers, abjuration of oiled metal, transmutation of crackling ozone, divination of fresh pine, enchantment of crisp pear, and illusion of smoldering cedar. Although you can also detect the foul, rotten stench of a cursed item, you cannot discern the details of the curse by smell alone, only that it bears one. Okay, that's good. It's a way to kind of balance things and not give people the identify spell right away. Due to this constant awareness of magic, you're less vulnerable to magic attacks. You gain advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects, and any spell attack that targets you is made at disadvantage. That's pretty good. And it reminds me of the Wanti ability. Scaling down. Till level 10, you don't gain advantage on saving throws against spells, magical effects, and spell attacks made against you aren't made at disadvantage. All other benefits still apply. Neat, so they do have options in here for if you're playing at higher levels versus lower levels too. Oh, and there's even different options for side quests, it's not just one. A famous perfumer is the victim of a malevolent curse laid on the enchanted garden where they grow their herbs and flowers used in their work. Investigate the perfumer's friends and rivals to find the culprit and lift the curse, and you will be rewarded with a nose for magic boon. Or 2. The aging matriarch of a wealthy noble family believes one of her children has cursed the others in an effort to secure their inheritance, an act she does not wish to reward. She hires you to investigate. But you quickly realize nearly all the matriarch's kin have cursed one another and are willing to deceive or bribe others to hide this fact. Identifying the only pure-hearted descendant unlocks the nose for magic boon. Oh, interesting. So that was the entire side quest. It seems to me that the way that this works is kind of meant to be sort of just an idea, and it's your job as the DM to further develop that idea. Now it's time to read off a Bane, and the one that I've chose is Delusions of Grandeur. A crown of light, which can't be removed or concealed, floats above your head. You suddenly hold the very certain and false belief that you are royalty. You are compelled to spend a minimum of 10 GP per day on luxuries for yourself. You have disadvantage on any charisma checks against common folk. To perform a task that could be considered menial or lowly, you must first succeed on a DC 15 wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, you refuse. On nights when you cannot find suitably luxurious shelter, you suffer a level of exhaustion. Ooh, that one sounds really bad. Exhaustion levels are not fun, especially when they stack. Shopkeepers and vendors perceive you as wealthy and will not offer you discounts of any kind. Likewise, thieves believe you to be affluent and are more likely to target you. When other rulers hear of your false claims to title and authority, they deem you a threat to their rule. At the start of each long rest, the GM rolls a 1d6. On a 6, an assassin will make an attempt on your life within the next 24 hours. When, where, and how is left to GM discretion. The scaling down option here is until level 10. You do not take levels of exhaustion for sleeping in unluxurious lodging. All of the penalties still apply. And the side quest accompanying this is a humble sage recognizes the glowing crown as a sign of this bane, explaining that to banish it you must perform 3 selfless acts to improve the life of the commoner, and must not be rewarded or recognized for it in any way. Not touting your influence requires a DC 15 wisdom save. Oh, that's kind of funny. To transfer the bane, you must become betrothed to someone of royal blood. You and your betrothed must don a pair of matching rings worth 100 GP each, and the target must say aloud, "With open eyes, I ascend to the throne." With this statement, the bane is transferred to them. That is really creative. This is such an interesting one because there's a lot of different ways that you could take this, not just as the DM, but also as the player. For instance, you could treat this very seriously and demand that you're royalty and that you deserve a royal treatment. Or you could take this a little bit less seriously, depending on the tone of your game, and pretend that you are King Arthur from Monty Python, or somewhat of a material girl. It's really up to you and kind of the tone of your game. Another thing I noticed is that there's quite a lot of stuff just within the single Bane. It's not just the disadvantage on charisma checks for common folk, there's also the effect that it has on your sleeping, as well as the assassins that could come to attack you at any time. Because Ginny D is a D&D creator whose videos I enjoy, I figured it would be best to evaluate this product in the same way that she does. The first hit is this product's low price point and ease of availability. The fact that it's only $30 for a ton of side quests is really good value, as well as the fact that you can just pick it up at your local Indigo. You don't even have to go to a local hobby store or anything like that. The second hit is just how gorgeous this artwork is, and it has a lot of personality. It brings a lot of character to these cards, and kind of gives you an idea of what it might be like for your players, or the kind of ways that you as a DM could describe it, such as the kinds of events that will play out in your dreams. The third hit is the fact that this booklet is filled with creative boons and banes, with plenty of side quests to occupy your players for a long period of time. Because especially if you have a very sandbox-like game, you can have your party really just running through all of these boons and banes if you wanted to. The next hit is the versatility in how the deck is used, such as being used as an actual in-game object, or just something for your players to grab every now and then associated with side quests. And I would say that the packaging itself is also a hit. I really like this magnet, and you can just slip the cards back in here. Of course, they don't cooperate when I'm on camera, but it is fairly easy, like that. And then as long as you don't break this little booklet, you can slip it right in here. Does take a little bit to feed it through here, but you will get it eventually. There we go. And once that's done, you can simply close it up, and everything stays together here. It's not going to fall out or anything. And yeah, it just stays really securely, so you could even take that in your backpack when you're going to your friend's place for D&D or whatever, or keep it on your bookshelf just like this. But now it's time for the misses. And for me, that is this booklet itself. While the text is perfectly fine to read, even though the booklet's small, I wish it was made of different materials. The thin cover wants to stay open after spreading the spine, which really annoys me. I feel that this book would have been better as a hardcover or like bound with a coil, though it would have taken up more space. Just because a coil bound means that it would have been more durable overall, and the hardcover would just kind of keep it in line with other D&D source books like the Player's Handbook or the DM's Guide or Tasha's, even though this is not a Wizards of the Coast product. You can also see I've accidentally worn off a little bit of the material at the back of the booklet, trying to thread it through here to put it back in the packaging. This could be both a hit and a miss, depending on how you view this product. The short descriptions of the side quests means that the Game Master still has planning to do. This is not a module you can read from and be able to apply it directly into your world. As a Game Master, you will still have to do the work to develop, let's say, stats for the monsters, or figure out the names of the people, because inevitably your party is definitely going to ask about that. But the fact that these quests are so vague means that it allows them to really fit into your world, whether it's serious or not, and you can also just ignore it. Ginny said herself that if you don't like something, you can just ignore it, and that is absolutely true. The reason why I say that this is both a hit and a miss is because it depends upon your expectations going into purchasing this product. If you thought that the side quests would be very developed, then you would be disappointed. But if you realize that this was just something meant to provoke ideas and give a bit of interesting character to your world and side quests to do, then I think that you will be excited by this product. Ultimately, the usefulness depends on whether or not your group enjoys the concept of Boons and Banes, and the random side quests that are associated with each. Both of my Game Masters love the idea of epic boons, and giving the party magic items and abilities that you wouldn't find in official sourcebooks. If you like D&D, I have several more videos like this one. Goodbye.